Here we have The Frightening 15. This was a Kickstarter that I helped fund from Macroverse, where they reprint 15 pre-code horror comics from the Golden Age. Let's take a look. So they come in this box, and now we'll open it up. Alright, so inside we have our 15 comic books. Let me show you them one at a time and explain what all of this is. So the Golden Age of comics is from the late 1930s through the late 1950s. Basically, it is any comic with a 10 cents price on the cover, or starting with Action Comics #1 from 1938 all the way up until the Silver Age began with Showcase number whatever in 1956, I believe, that introduced the new Flash. And pre-code means before the Comics Code was implemented. So there were Senate hearings to discuss how comic books were leading to juvenile delinquency, and a book published called Seduction of the Innocent in 1954 that caused a self-governing body called the Comics Code Authority to be formed that companies chose to be governed by a set of rules, and if they fell within those rules, they could get the Comics Code Authority stamp on their comic, and then stores would carry the comics. Without the stamp, stores didn't want to carry the comics. This put EC Comics, which was the most popular publisher of the 1950s, out of business, and it led to the end of these types of comics that had these salacious covers. Now, 15 of them have been chosen for this Kickstarter project to reprint in exacting detail, to appear as they did when they were originally published. Now, these 15 comics together, at the highest quality that you can get of the ones that exist out there, which are exceptionally rare, is a combined value of around $450,000. And they are very rare because not only were comics of the time not saved, they were meant to be disposable, but a lot of these comics were burned in public bonfires, what have you, because of this whole crackdown. Now, this Kickstarter arrived 10 months later than it was supposed to, but you know what? It arrived. And we start with Suspense Comics issue 3 from April of 1944. There were 12 issues of Suspense Comics. They're from Continental Magazines. Frank Z. Temerson published periodicals under various imprints, such as Ultim Publications, Hellnet Publishing, Et S. Go Magazines, and Continental Magazines. And this particular one here, with a cover by Alex Schomburg, is the most valuable non-Marvel or DC comic book of all time. Well, this is a facsimile of it. Let's take a look inside. Oh, a slight blemish there on the cover, right from the printer. This isn't a 9/8, therefore it must go directly into the trash. Learn 70 bone-breaking knockout holds, that's cool. The Spectre on the ceiling, so it is old comic book style paper. But I like how it's not all yellowed and dingy looking. I like that they didn't fake age this. So it's an anthology title, as all these comics were at the time. Let's see what else was out on the newsstand from this company. Catman Comics, Captain Arrow Comics, Terrific Comics, and Suspense Comics, of which we are looking at. Crime and Crimson, Death Spins a Reel. So this is a thick comic, lots of stories within. 83 Days on a Life Raft. Look, we're only halfway through. Death in High Gear. And I wasn't showing you all the pages I was flipping past. I edited some. Wise Guys, The Tracker by Larry Leonard. That's cool. Look at that move. It's like Captain America right there. I Will Show You How to Build a Mighty Body by George Jowett. Oh my God, I have these books. I have the originals. I showed these before. Wow. Oh, this is an interesting little timestamp. See, being in April of 1944, this was still during World War II. Okay, let's keep going. We've got Suspense Comics issue 8 from June of 1945. Hey, that's the same artist as The Tracker. Suspense Comics issue 11 from June of 1946. Again, same artist, L.B. Cole, but it's a full year later. And Suspense Comics issue 12 from September 1946. Now we've got Punch Comics issue 9 from July of 1944. This is from Harry Chesler Publications. There were 13 issues of this series. They were numbered 1, 2, and then 9 through 19. There was no issues 3 through 8. But then the title was taken over by Superior Publishers Limited, and they continued with issues 20 through 23. And this is Punch Comics issue 12 from January of 1945. Let's take a look inside this one. Oh, every cover has this blemish. Oh, they're all kind of crinkled. I can make you commando tough. Hey, it's George Jowett again, and those books. Punch and Cutie. Stereotype. Master Key. Happy Landing. Wow. Sacrifice, a text story I will never read. Little Joe and Captain Glory. Daffy Dills and Hail the Magician. Tiger, Tiger Uppercut. Handy Andy, Gambler's Payoff, and Rocket Boy. Foxy Grandpa. And Charles Atlas. Ooh, a giant telescope. And that brings us to Chamber of Chills, issue 19 from September of 1953. This series lasted 26 issues from Harvey Publications, and this is the most valuable horror comic of all time. So the numbering of this series is a little strange. Blondie Comics went from issues 1 through 20, and then at 21 it became Chamber of Chills, all the way up through issue 24. So the first 4 issues of Chamber of Chills are actually 21, 22, 23, and 24. Then they reset back to issue 5 instead of issue 25, and that's where the numbering continued. Let's look inside this one. Yep, every cover's been junked. New 1953 Space Commander Vibromatic Walkie-Talkies. Hey, a table of contents. That's as far as you go, puke. And then we've got Chamber of Chills, issue 23, from May of 1954. These are from Harvey Publications, also known as Harvey Comics, which was the company that brought us Casper the Friendly Ghost and Richie Rich. And that brings us to Weird Mysteries, issue 4, from April of 1953. This title ran 12 issues from one of the imprint companies of Stanley Morris. Stanley Morris founded Key Publications, which produced periodicals under the imprints Aragon Magazines, Gilmore Magazines, Metal Comics, Media Publications, SPM Publications, Stanmore Publications, and Timor Publications. This series is from Gilmore. And we also have Weird Mysteries issue 5 from June of 1953, Weird Mysteries issue 6 from August of 1953, and Weird Mysteries issue 12 from September of 1954. Here lies Mifman. And last but not least, we have Weird Chills, issue 1 from July of 1954. These are also from one of the imprints of Stanley Morse, this one being Metal Comics, Medal, and the series lasted for 3 issues, and we have all 3. Here is issue 2 from September of 1954, and issue 3 from November of 1954. We can take a look inside this one, because that'll be the end of this video. Yep, the covers are still junked. Stop bedwetting! Just stop! Terror on TV! I like that. Hey look, it's a black and white show! Chew Improved Formula. Chewing gum reduce. Oh, you lose weight by chewing gum? How many calories could that possibly burn? Clumsy! Hey, it's the Automatic Fisherman. Is that from Ron Popeil? You can use it to cut through a tin can. Voice of Doom! Fateful Fairy. No thanks. The Bogeyman. Bogey? Oh, I wonder what all this slop is. So this company, Macroverse, actually had to track down and acquire every single one of these comics, and then they digitally restored all of them, and then acquired the paper products and inks that they would need to produce accurate facsimile editions. In fact, they did for every single issue of all the runs of all of these. I just didn't opt in for that gigantic version of the Kickstarter. I just picked the 15 because you know what? I have digital versions of all of them anyways. They're downloadable from the internet, but I thought it'd be cool to get the facsimile editions of the big 15 that they launched the whole thing with. And so, there you have it. Hope you liked the video. Click the like, click the subscribe, and I'll see you next time.